We often move through our days without noticing what God is doing or what is happening around us, right? We settle into patterns that feel safe. I know I do. We rely on habits rather than attentiveness. We assume tomorrow will just look like today. And then when that happens, we do not see what is right in front of us. We lose the capacity to read our own lives and the world with clarity. Now, this is where the language of apocalypse matters. We usually hear that word and think of a catastrophe. There was a movie, actually, Apocalypse Now, some years ago, and just talks about that catastrophe, right? But that's not what Scripture means when it uses the word apocalypse. Apocalypse means unveiling. And Jesus here is not asking the disciples to predict a timeline. He's telling us to live awake so that they can see what God reveals in the ordinary moments of life. Because in the ordinary moments of life is when we usually miss God the most, miss what He's doing the most. And this is why Advent starts here. The season begins with attention. It asks us to stay awake to God's presence, awake to our own inner life, and awake to the world that presses on us. And boy, does the world press on us recently. Advent does not give us control. Instead, what it does is it gives us clarity. It teaches us to hold uncertainty without panic and to stay grounded. To stay grounded when life does not give us answers. You see, attention is actually a spiritual practice. It is the posture of someone who knows that God is near, especially and even when life feels unsettled. In the text, Jesus tells his disciples to stay awake because attention is the only way to live faithfully in a world that shifts without warning. Attention keeps us open to grace. Attention keeps us honest about our fears, and it keeps us ready to respond to Christ's presence in the middle of our ordinary days. Advent begins by inviting us to that kind of wakefulness.